Hello everyone, welcome once again to our Power BI tutorial for beginners. In this part, you will learn connecting Power BI with your first data set. So, in order to understand the working of Power BI a little bit, we will demonstrate connecting with an Excel file. We will connect the sample Superstore dataset. This dataset will be provided in the description or resources, so you can download it from there and then save it in your computer somewhere and then open Power BI. Once Power BI desktop opens, you have to come to this particular screen, and on this particular screen you can see this option here. So there are two ways you can see Excel workbook. If you will click here, then also you can connect. If you import data from Excel, if you click this option, you can connect with any particular data set of Excel. If you click get data, so from here also you will see various options. So if your file is in Excel, you can connect Excel workbook. If your file is in SQL server, you can connect SQL server. If your file is text or CSV, if it's on web, you can click more to see more options here. And here you can see more options, different type of databases, different type of Power Platform, Azure, online services. So in this tutorial, we will cover many such examples. So in our series, you will see many such examples. So in the upcoming videos, you will find that. Right now, we will connect with a simple Excel file, and the Excel file that we are connecting here. So I am going to explain that Excel file a little bit. That Excel file is called sample superstore dataset. This sample superstore dataset has been explained in our previous tutorials, but uh, I am just explaining this right now what this file is. In this file, you can see we have orders. So this is data of a sample company, orders of a sample company. Here we have several columns like row ID, order ID. Row ID is unique for every row. Order ID is repetitive. So for some cases there are two order IDs. For some cases there are 5 or 6 order IDs. So order ID is a repetitive column. Here the data is repeated sometimes. It's not unique. Row ID is unique ID of every order. Here is order date. Here is ship date. Here is ship mode. Ship mode is also a repetitive column. Like here we have three values: second class, standard class, and first class. Then we have customer ID, customer name, and if a customer has ordered n number of times, so obviously their name will be repeated. We have segment. Segment is also a categorical variable where we have only uh, out of 9,995 orders or 9,994 orders, we have only three possible values for segment. It is consumer, corporate, and home office. So these type of variables are very important. These type of variables are also called dimensions. So we can use these variables to count uh, or aggregate measures. For example, we can count how many total orders were made in the consumer segment, or what is the average order size of home office, what is the overall profit of corporate segment. So queries like this can be solved, and these type of variables are very good for creating bar graphs and pie charts. Now we have country, We have city, which is our geographical data. We have state. We have postal code. So this is the address of that customer. We have product ID. Every product has a unique ID, and with this product ID we will be able to count how many times a particular product has been purchased, which product has resulted into most number of sales, which product has given us most profit. So things like that can be counted. And after all the dimensions like category of product, subcategory, name of the product, we also have the numerical variables which are sales, quantity, discount, and profit. So here quantity is in integer format and sales, discount, and profit are in decimal format or the float format. Now we will connect this with Power BI and simply click that any of these icons. For example, you can click here, the same option will come, or here the same option will come, because Excel is one of the most common data set. That's why it is given on top. From here just navigate to your data set wherever you have saved your data set in your computer. For example, if you will download this data set, most probably the data set will be in the downloads folder, but I think this is a easy thing that you can do. From here just click your data set, and once your data set uh, it is kind of connecting with the data set, and we'll wait. Here you can see our data set is loading. We will wait. Now this data set is loaded, and since it is an Excel file, here in this Excel file you can see we have orders, we have returns, and we have people. So for example, let's say this is an order. In this order you can see the order ID is CA 2016 152156. So this is an order ID. Now let's go to return. Here also you will find order IDs in the same fashion or the same pattern, and whether that order was returned. Here you can see total number of orders are 9994 excluding the first row, and in returns you will see total number of returned orders are 297. So in order to get the complete information, you have to join these two sheets together. Suppose you want to know which particular state has the most number of returned orders, which particular segment of consumers have returned most orders, what is the sum of total orders that are returned. So to solve questions like that or queries like that with Power BI or any tool, you have to join these two sheets together. Then we have another sheet called person. So here for every region in our orders, so in orders you will see a variable called region. So in this column, again this is a categorical column. It is a nominal variable where we have east, west, north, and central. So we have south, west, central, and east. So whatever regions are there, so for every region there is a particular person who is kind of in charge of that region. So we can also find person wise sales, person wise profit. Things like that can be found with the help of this particular sheet. But this particular sheet cannot work alone unless and until we join them with the orders sheet. So now what we are going to do in Power BI, if you have these sheets, you can select all of them. And now since it is our first class of connecting with a data set, we will simply select all of them. Just wait for preview to get live. Yeah. So now whatever we were seeing in the Excel file, we can see here as well. And now we will simply load it. When you will load it, I will change its position. You can see it is counting rows. So when you will load it, you will see in your fields section, you will see the data. So now you can see our three files have been loaded, and you can see three tables here: orders, people, and return. So you can collapse and expand them if you have to work with these variables. Now you can choose any of these fields. Suppose we select region from here. So we have selected region, and you can see that all the regions are available here. We will show as a table to show. So you can see all the regions. So in our original file or in the actual file, the regions are repetitive values. But when you will load them in Power BI, when you will select a variable, so you will see only distinct values here. Because when you see distinct values, then you can aggregate the data. Whatever numerical variables we have, you can see this sigma sign or this sign here, which represents that this particular data is numerical, and non-numerical or data is represented without any such icon. So for example, discount, order date, postal code, profit, quantity, row ID, sales, ship date. So date is also a special type of data type. Date obviously represents date data type. So in this particular data type also you can see this sign. Other than that, all other variables are numerical, either integers or decimals. So once you have selected a dimension, just for your first analysis, you can select any other measure or any other numerical value. So just select this. Once you will select this, you will see a summary. What is happening here when you will select sales? So you just have to understand this, because here every region was with a row ID. Okay, so every region belong to a row ID. But here you are seeing a summary. Here you are seeing a summary. So when you will summarize the data, when you will group by region, when you will group the data by region, then an aggregate measure will be applied. So what are these aggregate measures? These aggregate measures are nothing but, just give me a, so these aggregate measures are sum, minimum, maximum, and average or mean, and variance, and standard deviation, and so on. So uh, and one very important is count, and one is count distinct. So we will, in our upcoming chapters, we will discuss these points also. So when you will select a dimension and a measure, so your data will be summarized, and here by default sum will be displayed when you will show as table. So this is overall, the sum is 22,97,200, and here you can see in central what is the total sum, in east what is the total sum of sales, in south and in west. We can also verify. So just go to your Excel file, click sales, and here also you will see the sum as 22,97,200. This is how we say it in India. There are different ways of you know reading the number in different countries. So and similarly, now it has divided the it is showing us the total sales also, and it has divided the sales into central, east, south and west region, whatever their respective sum of sales was. So this was our very basic first tutorial where we discussed how to connect with a data set and how to select any particular field from any data set. We can also do one more calculation here. So just create another page. So every page represent some kind of dashboard or some kind of story. Like every page has a in a page you will put all those graphs and tables and charts which logically represent something. So that's why we are creating a new page here. So this time what we are going to do, we will select one field from one table and other field from the other table. So we'll select returns. So in return it is showing us only column 1 and column 2. So column 2 is orders, column 1 is yes and no. So we will select returns. Let's select this, return yes, and then we will from orders we can select order ID. Now it is asking us to create a relationship. Although we will cover relationships in upcoming chapters, but because these two tables need to have some kind of relationship defined, so click new, then select the tables and columns that are related. So in orders table, order ID is related, so we will select order ID, and in returns table we will select the column 2, because somehow when we loaded this data, the name of this column was not displayed properly. So here you can see from orders table we have selected order ID, and from returns table we have selected column 2 because somehow the name of this column has not appeared properly here. Actually the names were same as the name in the original sheets, but again since Power BI was not able to understand what is the relation between these two tables and we were seeing some kind of error, so now we have created the relationship. We will make this relationship active, and this is many to one. There are different type of relationships, like many to one relationship, like many orders in the orders table are related to one order in the returns table, one to one, one to many, and so on. So we have selected the default many to one. We will obviously discuss about relationships a lot more in upcoming chapters, and click OK, and then we will simply close. And now you can see if we have selected column from one table which is order ID, and if we have selected column from another table, so we will select column 2. So here you will see wherever the two columns are related, so then only you will see order ID and column 2. So you can select yes also. So later we will use filters and different sort of things in order to show a more useful case of joins and relationships. This is just a demonstration that we can select columns from different tables as well. Similarly, we can include people here, and when you will use people, then also you will see. So you have to join people with orders as well. So we will cover all of this. For this chapter, you just have to try connecting with a data set, connecting with a sheet, select any two particular columns and try to create some kind of visual over here and see if it is working. So we will see you in the next video where we'll discuss more about Power BI and dataset connections. Follow and subscribe our channel Color Tech Training by SlideScope. to get more videos like this. Here you will find videos related to data analysis, Tableau, you will find Python tutorials, digital marketing tutorials, and much more.